I'm usually pretty happy when I look down and Kevin is there. It's like, hey.
Just doing what I do best,
What's going on, Socialites? Welcome to the Season 9 team discussion and tier list video. Ryan, your commissioner, head coach, your Boston Braviaries, and of course, the back-to-back reigning champ here, joined by 3 coaches. Cole in the Driftveil City Dragapults. How's it going, Cole?
Good, Ryan.
Glad to have you on with us tonight. A little last minute to get you on here, but
Yep.
we'll make sure to rag on the coach who had to leave last minute.
You're a lot better than that choice, so, here we are.
Yeah, that's true. We might actually get some, thoughtful discussion here. Anthony of the Pittsburgh Polteageist. How's it going, Anthony?
Happy to be here for another ranking video.
Yeah, right. We should probably keep track. You've probably done, all of them since you joined. If not, maybe not the first season you joined.
I'm pretty sure I actually did do it the first season.
Yeah, you probably did. I was just looking back at all of them too, and I'll kind of talk about that in a little bit. But I was looking back at all the ranking videos, comparing how well do we actually do. But anyway, and Kevin, head coach, the Phoenix Primals. What's up, Kevin?
Another day in paradise, man. What about you?
There you go. Well, I'm in Massachusetts, so it's okay.
So it's not paradise, is what we're trying to say.
Not paradise, but it's all right. Can't complain too much.
I mean, I'm in upstate New York, so it's not much better here, I guarantee.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that's way worse. That's awful. How dare you call that paradise? That's the tundra. The frozen tundra. All right, so yes, it is one of my favorite times of the season, before you get into the nitty-gritty grinding out the battles, is just looking at how everyone did in the draft and giving our first impressions of it. So as I alluded to with Anthony there, I was looking back at our previous rankings. I have rankings all the way back to season 2 when we started YouTube. So looking back on that.
Those don't matter much.
What's that?
I said I wasn't here, so it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, but one second, I'm just editing the background music because I want to make sure people can hear Anthony's lovely voice there.
I don't think that's ever been a problem in my life.
You were a little quiet on the last one, so I wanted to raise the volume but then lower the background music. But anyway, yeah, and I was looking back, and never has an S tier rank ever won the championship. Usually they're A tiers, and there's been a couple B tiers. So say with that what you will, but maybe S tiers feel too full of themselves and don't make enough, changes or something. I don't know what it is. And maybe the A tiers, you're just good enough that a little bit of tweaking you can get there, and then the couple B tiers. So we'll have to see. Does that mean you want to be an S rank, or if you want the trophy, is it better for you to be in the A rank? Just something looking back on. Just some food for thought.
Or, alternatively, an alternative theory is just the S tiers eliminate each other. Like last season.
Yeah, but then I eliminated the S tier. So doesn't matter. It's just who's at the end. I don't even think a lot of S tiers ever make it to the finals. That I'd have to double check on, but
I just made it to the finals last season, and
yeah, but I mean I don't think a lot have, because the season before none of them did, and the season before that, I think Memphis was an S tier, so yeah, they made it. Oh, it might be like 50-50. But anyway, let's hop into this, because we got 20 teams. We got a lot to do. So usually we would run through all the teams and then rank them. We're going to kind of rank them as we're going, just to try to make this not a 3-hour long video. All right.
I like the sound of that.
Okay, we all strapped in? We all ready?
Yep.
All right, Black City Zekrom. Starting off, Chien Pao, Amoonguss, Armor Rogue, Alola Mola, Venomoth, Morgrem, Ice-Q, and Oricorio Sensu. Right off the bat, I think this is a pretty strong, solid team. What do you think, Cole?
Yeah, I mean, just between, Chien Pao and Armarouge and Venomoth can be a good Quiver Dance sweeper, too. So, yeah.
Yep. He's got the discount Grimmsnarl, Morgrem, which is still good. It still does everything Grimmsnarl can do.
Grimmsnarl at home.
Yep. But I mean, in C tier, that's worth it, because Grimmsnarl is an S tier. You get a Morgrem at C tier, that's really good value. I mean, Chien Pao's probably one of the best physical attackers. Double Regenerator Core here with Amoonguss and Alola Mola, both with typings that can resist the others super effective. Cole, you kind of mentioned it with Armor Rogue, but a good special attacker. A good Pokemon to use for Scarf, too. And Venomoth as a setup sweeper. And Oricorio is actually pretty good. Revelation Dance is 10 base points stronger than Shadow Ball. So it's other than like Status Hex, it's the strongest special attacking ghost move you can have.
And if you don't know about Dancer and you try to, say, Quiver Dance or something.
Yep. Yeah, or Dragon Dance against them, then they get the speed boost at least. It gets Defog, which is good. U-Turn, Hurricane, so it's definitely not bad. I mean, the Ice-Q is the only thing on here that I'm like...
I mean, the one thing I noticed about this team is I want something, good for, setting. Amoonguss, okay. But, that's the only kind of, major weakness I see.
What do you think, Anthony?
What's up?
Oh, I was saying, what are your thoughts?
Well, that's what I was saying. I love this team. It's really good. But, yeah, I think, like I said, the one weakness I'm seeing is, I want a good rock setter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. There's no real hazards on here.
Yeah, that was my one thing. You could set up, maybe, with Amoonguss, but, not much.
Yeah. Does Amoonguss get Toxic Spikes, or...?
I feel like it does, but
I think Venomoth gets Toxic Spikes, or maybe it doesn't. Yeah, that's
either
true.
way.
Yeah,
I don't like
not having a dedicated hazard setter is pretty tough, but I think the rest of it is very, very strong. Maybe it's not perfect team, but
doesn't get Toxic Spike.
Yeah, so he doesn't really have a hazard there, so that's something that he could look to. Again, that Ice-Q could probably be replaced.
Venomoth does get Toxic Spikes, though.
Yeah, so... But that's not... And then just, put stuff to sleep with Amoonguss, use your Regenerator pivots. I think it's still a pretty solid team. Maybe Defogs, and... I mean, lead Morgrem just seems good, though. Taunt them, set up your screens, parting shot out, basically what Grimmsnarl does in OU right now.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely. I mean,
but no, I do see your what you're saying with the rock weakness.
I definitely think that takes the team down a little bit. Is the huge rocks weakness?
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah, I think it's. I think it's a good enough team. I think A is where it would sit. Anthony, do you have any thoughts on that?
I would say lower A. Like I said, I think in singles having a huge rock weakness is just a problem, and like I said, no real own dedicated hazards. So I would say it's still good enough to be an A, but definitely more on the low end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking ahead to some of the other teams, and I don't know how many S or A teams we're gonna really have here. To be honest, this was kind of a weird draft, but moving on to your Boston Braviers here, so we can each kind of just go over our own team. So I'll go over mine real quick. Definitely not one of the drafts I'm proud of, but I feel like the team is still solid. We got Iron Treads of the S tier. I don't know if it'll be on our team at the end, because there's still a lot of really good S tiers available. to think about for other teams and everything. But can get up hazards, can remove hazards, great dual typing. It has just really good stats. It's just a really good offensive and defensive, just kind of like an all-around threat. A lot of utility too, gets knockoff and everything. It's no great Tusk, but I mean, what is? A tier, we got Slitherwing. Just a really strong first impression. This Pokemon can be run offensively or defensively as well. It gets access to Morning Sun, great dual typing with the bug fighting. It might even be better for those who played previous formats with Buzzwole. It might even be better than Buzzwole in certain aspects. And then we got the Tauros Blaze, which is definitely one of my favorite Pokemon that came out of this generation. It just does so well against so many top tier threats. I was kind of talking to Cole and Anthony about it, but it's like Chien-Pao, Chi-Yu, King Gambit. Like, none of them can really do too much to Tauros Blaze here. A few more, but it's definitely a defensive powerhouse on the physical side. And it has a couple tricks up its sleeve too. Gastrodon, I probably should have picked Quagsire instead of Gastrodon just for general utility, but now it gets access to both rocks and spikes, which is nice. It has a little bit more offensive power than Quagsire. Quagsire would have Toxic, which is pretty good, but being able to have
Gastrodon would
Ice
be better
Beam
if it, still had Scald.
Yeah. But it still gets access to Ice Beam.
You get budget Scald. You get Chilling Water, okay?
Boo.
Yeah, but you can still use Surf. Like, it's not like that's not what you're really there for Gastrodon to do anyway. But yeah, I do wish it had Scald, obviously. Mismagius, just for the Ghost type and relatively strong special attacker, good speed tier. We used it in a previous Draft League, did very well as a Choice Scarfer or Focus Sash sort of Pokemon. For our C tiers, we got Raichu, Electric type. It's a pretty good Choice Specs Pokemon, being able to Volt Switch around. Gets a lot of good utility moves like Surf and Focus Blast and Grass Knot, all that fun stuff. Mabostiff, I've really been liking
Gives you
Mabostiff.
another electric immunity.
Yeah, another electric immunity if I need that.
Oh my god, I just found a shiny Earthworm.
Oh, catch it.
Just randomly. Sorry. That was awesome.
Yeah, Mabostiff, kind of the same deal as Raichu, just gets like so many good coverage moves. And it's a really good Terra type user too. And then Cryogonal's probably like the weakest here. I picked it because I didn't have a Rabbit Spin user, and then I realized at the end of the draft that Iron Shreds was still available. So that's probably one I'd be looking to get rid of, but again, still has some good utility moves and is a pretty decent special attacker as well. Good speed and good special attack, freeze dry, so in certain matchups it could definitely be playable. What are your thoughts on this team, Anthony?
I don't hate it, honestly. I know you're giving yourself a little bit more shit than I think you need, but I think it's fine.
I think it's fine. What were your thoughts, Kevin?
It's thoroughly fine.
Oh, did you have something more you want to say, Anthony? Sorry.
I just said it's thoroughly fine. I think it's fine.
I definitely think it's higher than what you ranked it with initially. I'm with you. I love the Tauros Blaze. I like the only Pokemon that I have an issue with is the Crown and all, but everything else seems solid. So
yeah, that's the C tier curse. We'll get rid of it probably. But it's always nice to have that random freeze dry user on your team, because there's always a team that comes up there like, ooh, freeze dry just sweeps them.
Right.
There's always one. Cole, do you have any thoughts on the Braviaries?
Yeah, I agree with Kevin. I'd probably put it higher than you thought you would, because yeah, it's still a pretty good team. Like, it's not as random as some of your other drafts have been.
Jeez. Maybe they're not random
Shots fired.
if I got 5 trophies. I don't know about that. That's harsh. That's mean.
Yeah, but that's fair. What did you rate yourself in your own little rating? That you're not the good drafter, but you're a good adapter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so where would you put the Braviaries then, Kevin?
I'd say high B, low A. I think you put yourself at low B before, so I'd say high B, low A.
What do you think, Anthony? Is that fair?
I'd actually say higher than Black City because, like I said, I pay attention to like hazards and things like that, which you can set, you can get rid of them. Like that's important in singles, like very important.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think like 1v1, my team does really good against Black City. So, what do you think, Cole? Either above or below Black City?
I say above.
Right, yeah, we'll go there. We'll say something like that. That's good for me if it ends up there, because every time I've been A ranked, I've won the championship. All right, next we got the Charm City Charizards. They didn't make it for the draft because they were moving to New York. That past weekend.
Oh wow, I didn't know he was moving.
Oh yeah, he's moving out there to be closer to his family. So we all hope we get to see Zach some point in the future. But I picked his team for him. So we picked the Great Tusk, who is truly the Landorus of this current generation. Even though we're using some Pokemon that are banned in OU, if you do play competitive singles, Great Tusk is just one of the best Pokemon right now. I just want to apologize for everyone. I'm guzzling down water. Still got a little bit of a sore throat. Gengar.
How dare you hydrate?
I know.
Fucker.
I might have to have you guys run the podcast while I go refill. I've already chugged like over half this thing. Gengar, Ghost type, special attacker. We all know what Gengar does. It's been doing the same thing since Gen 1. Low kicks, the new bug in the room, overshadowing Spidops, of course, as being actually, generally good. Gets a lot of good priority moves, Sucker Punch, First Impression. Florges. Florges doesn't do anything too special. It is a Wish Passer, which you see on here. He has 2 Wish Passers, Florges and Vaporeon, which is pretty nice. Especially when you have a Pokemon like Great Tusk that can take a lot of hits, being able to bring that back up to full pretty easily. But it's just a good fairy with good special defense, good special attack. Vaporeon, which we already talked about, we already know what Vaporeon can do. Just another good bulky water type. And then in the C tiers, we got Jumpluff. I've always been a fan of Jumpluff. In singles, it can run Sleep Powder, Acrobatics, Swords Dance, Substitute. It's a fun Pokemon to use in singles. And Oricorio Pom Pom. And Flap will round it out. So, Kevin, do you have any thoughts on Charm City? Well, what sticks out to you for them?
Before I give my ranking, I need to know, does Florges still get aromatherapy or no?
Let me double check that for you. No, does not look like it.
Alright, so slightly less of a I'd still rank it in an A tier team. I mean, Great Tusk is just a beast, and Gengar has been relevant for literally the last 2.5 decades. So I mean, can't really hate on that. low kicks with tinted lens, can hit like a truck. Then you got, like you said, 2 wish passers. Jump off is pretty good. Flapple, if it can actually hit, will hit like a truck, but that's if. So, I'd say it's a solid team.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Anthony?
Yeah, I think it's still a solid team. Definitely, again, quite a few Pokemon with rock weakness, but you have Great Tusk to handle that. But other than that, no, I think it's a solid team.
Yeah, Great Tusk can take care of any of that, and Oricorio also gets defog, so you have a couple ways to remove them.
To get rid of hazards, but
yeah.
Other than that, I like it.
Cool. Anything you wanted to add to that, or?
Not really. I think it's all been said.
So where would we put Charm City here? I think the double Wish Passer is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
For sure, just with that longevity. I kind of like them better than my team.
I was just gonna say, I feel like every team's just been like a little bit better than the last one.
Yeah.
Right.
That's probably where I would put them. They might even be, we'll see what else comes up, because again, I'm only thinking like there's one other S tier team, like they might squeak up there, but there are some, like, it doesn't blow me away, this team, but it's still good.
Yeah, I'm definitely not like in awe of this team other than Great Tusk, but that's because it's Great Tusk.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this team is not like, oh my god, it's amazing. Like it's good. It's good.
Next we got the Chicago Scrafty here. They got Chi-Yu. Just huge threat. Huge threat, Chi-Yu. You need to make sure you have something that can revenge kill it or, take a hit. Goodra. Maybe not the best A tier Goodra, but it's a bulky dragon. Sableye getting screens this generation is pretty nice. So again, it's a prankster dual screener, can do some things. Fortress, hazards, Toxtricity gets a nice buff with Terra Normal for Boom Burst. So you gotta make sure you have like a ghost type or something that can switch in against that. For C tiers, I don't really know what the Wigglytuff would really do, but Floatzel is again another Terra type user with Terra type Water and Wave Crash. It can be really strong, and then Ursaring with the Eviolite now gives it another set other than just trying to do guts. You can run Eviolite with like Swords Dance. Could be something. What do you think, Cole?
Yeah, like you said, Chi-Yu will hit very hard because it with lowering your special defense. Goodra's good, especially with an Assault Vest. That thing can take hits like a truck. Overall, it's a pretty decent team. I like it.
Kevin, anything that sticks out to you for better or worse?
I've used Wigglytuff before, and the main thing I used it for was Wish Pass support, or randomly setting up opposing weather to combat other weather teams. But that's basically the only role that I could think that Wigglytuff can really fill. But I don't like, outside of the Chi-Yu, I don't see anything that like terrifies me. But it's a solid team, I think.
Yeah, the Chi-Yu is definitely like the big threat. Because, without rain, it's like Floatzel's kind of manageable. Like, with rain, Floatzel becomes a demon. Anthony, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, honestly, exactly what you were saying is where I was going to go with this, is that I'm only scared of the Chi-Yu on this team. Like, everything else, like, he's got a lot of thickness in, like, some, hazard setting, screens, things like that. But, like, I'm not scared of Toxtricity. Ursaring needs to set up. Floatzel is Floatzel. Like I'm not super impressed with this team other than the GU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he gets like the screens up with Sableye and then Chi-Yu gets like a few turns behind screens, it can definitely blow some holes in your team. So that's something that you have to think about. Thankfully, my team has Raging Bull Tauros, so I'm basically all set. But so where would we like this team then, Anthony, for the Chicago Scrafty?
They're a B to me. They're definitely not on the same level as the 8 teams we have above, but I don't think they're like bad.
Yeah, no. Well, if he had something other than like that was worse than Chi-Yu, then I'd say low B. But yeah, no, definitely like a higher B because of Chi-Yu.
Yeah, like Chi-Yu's really good, so I mean it.
I think replacing the Goodra with like a bigger threat from A tier would definitely make this team a little bit better for me.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you have like the Sableye to give you the bulk with the screens,
yeah, then you don't need all the bulk that this team has.
No.
Yeah, just get your hazards up with Fortress, and then this team looks like it requires a lot of setup too, like between Fortress and Sableye.
Yeah.
Yeah, go taunt crazy against this team is what it says.
Yeah. So.
Literally.
Have to see how that works out, but I'm also excited to see what Toxtricity can do. Did you have any last thoughts on that, Kevin?
No, B tier was where I was going to put him.
And moving on, Chicago Slow Kings. Kevin, you picked for this team, right? So did you want to kind of go over it?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I did the best I could. The only things he really told me was that he really wanted the Garchomp Tyranitar core, and so I kind of just took the wheel from there.
T-Tar take the wheel.
T-Tar take the wheel. But I don't know, with Rever, I tried my best to cover all the all the standard the typing cores with the Dragon Fairy Steel, the Fire, Water, Grass. I was, if someone else didn't take Raging Bull, the Fire Tauros, I was going to take it for myself. But then I thought, well, I'll just give him the Aqua one then, because it can serve a very similar role. Espeon with Magic Bounce is nice. It's a good Terrasilize user. Cacturn. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna just say, just because we're talking about Espeon, it's the only way he has to prevent hazards.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just something I wanted to bring up, but continue.
And then the Cacturn, it was one of the few grass types that has, or one of the few grass types left that had any sort of synergy with sand. So that's kind of why I went with that. And then it's got like Swords Dance and Sucker Punch, so it's not terrible. Flareon was interesting. It can with Guts and Terra Normal, can fire off some pretty nasty facades. So there's that. And then
it's access to Trailblaze now too, which I think is always kind of interesting. You know, just Trailblaze that first turn just to get the speed boost before your Toxic Orb procs or whatever, and then you know, some teams aren't ready for a +1 speed Flareon, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then Dunsparce, that was kind of just a last minute decision, because we were talking about new Eviolite users, and well, Dunsparce got banned in Little Cup for its Eviolite set, so figured see how well it can do here.
Yeah, for sure. It still gets access to Roost and stuff, so it can be pretty bulky. Glare Roost could definitely be a thing. Headbutt, of course. Yeah.
Hopefully, if he does decide to go Sandvale Garchomp, it works better for him than it did for Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, since you just brought that up, I'll kind of say it, that this seems like if you go the Sandvale route, the team seems very gotcha. It's like, okay, either you're gonna hit and kill me with stuff, or I'm gonna like dodge something in a key moment and win because of that.
Very RNG.
Like, I think I would rather just be running, like, Rough Skin Garchomp just because I know what it does and I'm guaranteed for what it does.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that doesn't mean that Tyranitar is still not good, like, obviously. But, Cole, what are your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a really good team. Like, he's got some pretty good heavy hitters. Like you said, you know, Espeon's the only way he has to prevent hazards. Which,
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's not like his team is
really
super
good.
weak to them either.
No, yeah.
So.
The one thing I'll note is there's not a lot of special attackers on this team.
Oh, yeah, no, not at all.
No.
Literally
Espeon,
Espeon.
Yeah, exactly my point. So like it's
I
very.
mean, you can run special Tyranitar.
He also doesn't have a lot of like special defense bulk either. It's like mostly physical.
Well, that's
bulk.
the Tyranitar with the same.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Tyranitar's running special.
Yeah, but then if he decides to, you know, terrestrialize Tyranitar, you lose that
Yeah.
buff.
Well, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Or Terra Rock.
Right?
Or Terra something else Rock, and then that becomes your special defensive Pokemon.
Yeah. Terra Rock, Eviolite, Dunsparce. There we go.
Yeah, no ground immunity either, and a few ground weaknesses.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that are weak to water, but then, you know, you have the Cacturn that could run Water Absorb, but it's a Cacturn, so.
And without setup too, the team is relatively slow. I mean, Cacturn does get a priority though, which is nice, and Tauros gets the Aqua Jet. So I mean, it's probably like mid-level on speed just because of the priority that the slow Pokemon do get.
Yeah.
Not that Tauros is slow, but I'm saying if you want to run it like more defensively, which is kind of how they like to go. Then you got Shift Gear, Revavroom.
Yep.
The Revavroom's nice because it covers for your two top tiers being weak to Fairy, and the Aquatauros. Like, without the Revavroom, like this team would have like a lot of Fairy weaknesses.
Yeah, Cacturn's also a fairy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Flareon isn't gonna take like a million Moonblasts. So the Revavroom definitely helps with that. Overall, I don't know, where would you put this, Anthony?
I think this is the weakest team we've seen so far, but
Oh,
I wouldn't
really?
say it's C here. I'd say it's B.
All right, ooh,
Yeah.
that's different where I was going with. Cole, what are your thoughts?
No, I agree with Anthony. I'd probably put it in B tier.
All right, below the Scrafty. I think this team is better than the Scrafties, which is where I was
gonna say the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd put
I
it
don't think it's an
above
A tier.
Scrafties.
So like I think it's a B. There's no like.
Yeah, but I think it's if we're gonna keep it in B, I think it's still like a solid B.
Yeah.
Like
Okay. With it.
Like I don't dislike the team at all. Again, I just personally wouldn't run like the Sandvale. Like I would want to make sure like, okay, my Garchomp's getting this residual chip when it comes in. That's like my only real thing against it. And then yeah, you probably want to find like a special attacker to fill out, but there's plenty of good special attackers. So I just think it's better than Chi-Yu and Friends. Alright, next we got the Denver Ninetales here. This was another team I ended up having to pick for her. So we went with the S-tier Dragapult, just a very good, versatile Pokemon. Thanks to terrestrializing, it can now actually use its physical attacks as well with Terra Blast Ghost. And,
So it doesn't have to keep using Phantom Force.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Shouldn't
Get
use
'em.
that in singles, no matter what.
Right.
But now it has like 3 versatile sets in Choice Band, Choice Specs, and Hex. Rotom Heat, just a solid dual typing. Probably not the strongest A tier, but again, it covers like 2 very good offensive typings. Flamigo, she wanted Flamigo. Flamigo's pretty good, actually, especially as a choice scarfer.
It's doing well in doubles.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Yep.
Co-Star does good.
Alongside
you'd be
Dundos
running
or
Scrappy,
Tatsugiri.
of course, here. Tinkaton, again, just a really good kind of dual typing Pokemon. Quagsire now gain access to spikes and rocks is really good. Muck, we've seen them use Muck before in a previous draft league. Just a pretty solid, bulky poison type. Cloth might be a little bit of a meme pick, but I think against other C tiers and some B tiers it can do well. So in certain matchups, I think you could see it get off like some Mega Shell. Yeah, it's okay. I think there are some Pokemon, though, that are just, like, inherently worse in Draft League because you know your opponent's going to bring them.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it harder. Like, yeah, you could bring Cloth onto Showdown and, like, maybe get some wins with it because all your opponents don't know that you're bringing a Cloth. But, you know, you got 6 out of 8 chance that your opponent's bringing a Cloth on the
Hey,
best
man, there are no
day.
laws when you got some claws.
Yeah. And then Doug Trio, just a fast ground type. So probably needs some changing on the C tiers here and there, but overall, I mean, that's kind of how C tiers go.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Ninetales, Kevin?
It starts off real great. I mean, like you said, Dragapult's extremely versatile. Like, I even liked experimenting with the sub D-Dance set from a couple from last generation.
Mm-hmm.
Rotom Heat, love that, especially now that it can just Terra Pure Electric, and then it just loses like all of its weaknesses, so it just becomes even tankier. Flamigo, try Flamigoat. I mean, it's gonna wreck things. I love Tinkaton.
Wow. Just wow on that one, friend.
That was a delayed wow, too.
Super delayed.
I was still processing it.
The only issue I have with it is the cloth, but I mean, there's with as limited of a Pokedex that we have right now, there's bound to be at least one on every team where it's like, what is that even doing there? But
yeah.
I mean,
no, I like it.
I think it's got to set hazards considering like Quagsire can, but like
Dodrio can too, right?
Yeah, and Tinkaton gets
I forgot
rocks.
none can.
I'm trying to think though. This team doesn't have hazard removal though, right?
Yeah, I was thinking
do
that.
not
I don't
see
think
any
she
of-
really does.
Yeah.
Can Flamigo defog?
Yeah, but I mean, that's not what you want.
You don't
to
want
do.
to, but I mean, I'm just
No.
like, how desperate are you?
You want
I
an
mean,
attacking, not
other
as a
than the
support.
team only has one rock weakness, which is Rotom. So if you just slap your boots on Rotom, then it's not
Yeah.
that big a deal.
Does Rotom get defog or no?
No, Rotom doesn't get defog anymore.
It does not.
And actually, Flamigo doesn't get it anymore, or at all, I should say.
I was like, did it ever?
Yeah, it did. It did in Gen 10. From the future.
He's thinking ahead.
That's right.
2000 and late over here.
Yeah, so this is a team that seems relatively top-heavy. And it's got, again, the Dragapult is so versatile, like, you're not going to know if it's going to want to be special or physical from week to week, which
Yeah.
is a pretty big buff.
No, Dragapult is a very good Pokemon to have as an S tier pick because, it's like literally. That's one of the things with Draft League is like some teams can telegraph pretty easily what they're going to be doing. Like that Dragapult can do whatever the fuck it wants week by week.
Yeah, you have to figure out what it wants to do against your team. So
By the
Am I
time you
taking
figure
a
it out,
Shadow
it's probably
Ball
too
or
late.
a Draco Meteor? Or am I going to get hit with, like Dragon Darts or,
yeah.
like you said,
Or am I gonna
Terra
or am I
Ghost?
gonna switch out into the Will-O-Wisp and then start getting hexed? Or am I gonna try to switch out and then it sets up the substitute and starts dragon dancing like Kevin said? You'll never know.
Until
Could
it's too
could
late.
even be mixed. You could come in to a Draco meet and then be like, I can live another one. Then all of a sudden it dragon darts you, and you're like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Yeah. So, where would you put them, Anthony, for the Denver 9?
I think they're the strongest A so far.
Ooh, all right. What do you think, Kevin?
Say, if not the strongest A, they're behind Charm, but I think they are the strongest A. But
Yeah, the Dragapult
Yeah,
does
I
a lot
agree.
of work. Does a lot of work. I think if the Dragapult was like, say, another like just straight special attacker, it would bring this team down a lot more. Because then you.
Oh no, Dragapult is definitely the linchpin that
Yeah.
makes his team in really, really good.
Yeah.
And just keep.
But they
keep
got
your
really
Corviknights
good
away from
speed
that
tiers
Tinkaton.
too. A lot of these Pokemon are relatively fast. Alright, moving on. Cole, tell us about the Driftveil City Dragapults.
All right, so I figured, there's a few Pokemon that can work under Trick Room, so I figured, I'll give it a shot. King Gambit is just good all around anyway. Salamence, I wanted something that can work out if I can't get Trick Room up. So, I wanted something outside of Trick Room just in case. Farigiraf and Rapska are my two bulky-ish Trick Room setters. Farigiraf's good because, it stops fake out any prankster priority stuff. Rapska is, bulkier than it looks like it should be.
Mm.
And it can get some pretty good. I like some of the coverage moves it gets with like Earth Power and Power Gem and stuff. Arboliva, like you had said during the draft, just hits really hard with its 125 base special attack. And it with like Seed Sower, you can immediately just get boosted power on like Energy Ball and stuff.
Mm.
And then for my C tiers, Dracloak, I've said it multiple times. I just wanted it because I got a shiny the day before. I really like Rotom anyway, just Will-O-Wisp stuff or whatever. And then Quillfish for another, Intimidator. And then if I want to set up like some spikes or something, I can give it a Focus Sash or something. My C tiers, I didn't really care what I picked because it's the C tiers.
Yeah, so I already kind of talked to you about this last night, Cole, but I'm just like,
Yeah.
ooh, I don't know how well the Trick Room is gonna go. Again, kind of just like it's a strategy that, especially in singles, is in Draft League, like it's a hard telegraph. So it's like,
Yeah, no. But I figured, hey, you know what? I'll try it out, see how it works.
no, I mean, King Gambit, like you said, is still really good. Like as a Pokemon that teams have to play around when it comes out, you're like, okay, is this the turn they Sucker Punch? Is this the turn they Swords Dance? What are they trying to do here? So it definitely becomes like a mind game whenever King Gambit's out. Oh, are they gonna terrestrialize it here? Salamence is generally good. It's definitely a Pokemon that I think needs like setup to kind of get going. So like you want to run like the Dragon Dance and everything, but it's still like still a pseudo, still has the stats and everything.
You can do mix too with Salamence.
Yeah. And then Arboliva I think is good even not on Trick Room. Like I think Arboliva just has the bulk and the power to just do stuff, and like you said with Seed Sower, like even if it takes like a hit or two, it's getting that residual recovery back. I just don't know how the two psychics there are gonna do. What do you think, Anthony?
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Trick Room's pretty telegraphed. But I do like the King Gambit. I do like the Salamence. And Arboliva, I'm mad you took it because I kind of wanted it.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, you had most of the draft. Like, I took it very late.
Yeah, it was one of those I was looking at and then I just forgot about it.
Yeah, it was definitely that. I was like, oh yeah, that's a Pokemon I kind of want. And then it's just, I'm like, fuck.
Kevin, any thoughts on the Dragapults?
The one thing that I can see is is that half the team is weak to dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That was like the first thing I noticed. I don't need. I agree with pretty much everything else you guys says. I don't want to rehash that, but that was like the only other thing I had to add was that holy dark weakness.
Yeah. And so Quillfish, I mean, you could run Rocks and King Gambit, but that seems pretty lackluster. So you basically have spikes on Quillfish, and then you have no way to remove hazards, which is another thing.
Yeah,
so,
I was trying to, I kept trying to get like something that could rapid spin, but you know, like a couple times right before I was about to pick, somebody else grabbed it, and I was like,
I'm surprised like
well, maybe I'm not getting a rapid spin
doesn't get rapid spin. Like, spin that dung, man.
Gross.
Spin,
Or not.
Spin the poop and get all the hazards on the poop. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited to see what Rabska can do. I mean, I hope it works out. I just gonna be tough. Gonna be tough.
Yeah.
So where would we put Driftveil?
Yikes.
I would honestly probably put Driftveil in between the two Chicago teams in B tier, but that's just me. I don't know how you guys feel.
What do you think, Anthony?
I'm sorry, Cole. I think it's a C.
Ooh.
I thought Ryan was gonna be the first one to say that.
I gotta
Cole,
look at it again.
I think it's a C team.
Man, I might have to do it to you, Cole. It's close.
Oh.
The King Gambit does King Gambit things. I've never really been a fan of Salamence, so I feel like that's like kind of tilting me a little bit as well.
The no gets hazard removal or hazard setting is like, eh.
We'll see. We still got a lot of teams to go through. Maybe we'll bump you back up, Cole. But we'll see. Prove us wrong. Make the Trick Room core work, and then you know, you can laugh at us at the end of the season
And dodge all
like,
the dark
"Look at
types."
this." Yeah.
There's no dark types.
Just terrastalize all your guys into fairy. Just all of them. Break the game, hack the game, and get all Terra Fairies. Alright, next we got my week 1 opponent, the Florida Feraligators.
I'm your week 1
Alex
opponent.
isn't here to defend this team, but I'm going to just start off. I mean, we can see it all on here. Annihilate, Umbreon, Grafaiai, Jolteon, Toxicroak, Tatsugiri, Spiritomb, and Camerupt. And ooh, my Iron Treads is clicking Earthquake like all day against this team. I'm licking my lips. I'm ready. I'm ready to get like 10 KOs this week with
And also,
Iron
hello,
Treads.
fairy weakness.
Yep. Oh yeah, a lot. Yep. Yeah,
only
even
things that
Toxicroak isn't a resist.
Yeah,
Like
The only
Camerupt's
things
your
that-
resist. Oh, that's not good.
right? Only resistances to fairy are Grafaiai and Camerupt, and they're Grafaiai and Camerupt.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, but looking at it, obviously you got Annihilate, which is a relatively versatile Pokemon. I see this as like a lead Annihilate on this team, because other than it, you don't really have any other like rocks setters.
Yeah.
I don't even think any of these get spikes.
Can't Camerupt set rocks?
It might be able to, but I mean, again, your Camerupt. I want you
I mean,
to
yeah,
lose
it's
your
a bad
Camerupt.
Pokemon, don't get me wrong, but at least it can set rocks.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be able to. I will just double check that, because sometimes something weird happens.
The Tatsugiri is a choice.
Right?
I love it though. Sushi Pokemon.
I mean, Tatsugiri's okay. Like, it gets Draco Meteor, it gets Hydro Pump. Like, it can hit relatively hard on, like, a spec set.
Gets Mirror Coat.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
Umbreon's a good Wish Passer, so it can help keep Annihilate healthy while your Rage Fist stacks up. Grafai can be annoying.
Yeah, Grafai is better than I thought it would be this
Yeah,
game.
yeah. A lot of Pokemon got Encore this generation, which is such an annoying move. So like Grafai can like lock you into like things you don't want, Toxic You, and
with Prankster,
Knock Off, and Parting Shot, and everything. So yeah, Prankster Parting Shot too. Like quite a few Pokemon, like that's why Grimmsnarl is like so good because it can just Parting Shot out. So Prankster Parting Shot is always good.
It's weird seeing something so fast have Prankster.
Yeah. Jolteon is Jolteon. I mean, we'll have to see if Terra Blast helps it with anything.
I was gonna say Terra Blast definitely helps it a lot.
Yeah. Toxicroak, but then you're like committing that as your terrestrializing, which then means your Annihilape isn't terrestrializing, which then means your Annihilape is dying.
I mean, if you're leading Annihilape, I mean, you're probably not terrestrializing it.
Well, that's just what I'm thinking, is that you would lead it, do like the Sash Rocks taunt set or something. Tatsugiri we already kind of talked about. It gets some strong attacks. It's a water immunity. Spiritomb, Will-O-Wisp plus priority attacks, and then Camerupt for your fire type, which is okay, I guess. Kevin, what are your thoughts on the Feraligatrs?
I do like the Annihilate Umbreon. I think they have a lot of synergy as far as like, you know, Umbreon kind of being like a support for it, keeping it alive, and thus allowing it to rack up Rage Fist. I mean, if you want to commit your Terrestrialization on Toxicroak, you go Terra Poison to eliminate your glaring fairy weakness, but that's still it's not overly bulky, so it's not going to be taking too many fairy hits regardless.
There's not that many fairy weak Pokemon on this team.
Spiritomb, Tatsugiri, Umbreon, Annihilape.
Yeah,
okay.
There's 4.
I forgot about Tatsugiri.
Yeah.
I keep ignoring the fish.
It's okay.
It's used to it.
The issue I have is it feels like this team is very much Annihilate or bust. I don't know. Maybe, hopefully he proves me wrong, but that's just my first impression, is that it's Annihilate or bust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree
That
with that.
Annihilate is gonna bust some skulls. Hey.
Yeah, Annihilape's definitely the key threat, like head and shoulders above. Anthony, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, pretty much. A lot of mutual weaknesses between fairy, ground, and
yeah.
so yeah, not the best team.
All right, so where would we put them, Cole? What do you think about the Feraligatrs?
I'd say
the one thing I definitely do like about them is they have a lot of ways to pivot.
yeah.
Like you got the Grafai with the Parting Shot, you got Jolteon, which would have Volt Switch. You could even run U-Turn on Annihilape if that's like something you want to do. And again, the Umbreon with Wish allows you to bring stuff in on, you know, hits they can survive and then come back from it. So I definitely think that's a strength of the team that they kind of have to focus on.
I'd say maybe like, I don't know, low B.
What do you think, Kevin?
I'd say it's another C for me.
I say y'all are being too nice. This is a C team. Come on.
Above or below the Trick Room team, though?
Below the Trick Room team, I think.
Trick Room, yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong, Anthony. I was trying to be nice with that.
Nah, Cole, you haven't been on enough of these. You got to be real when it's real.
Again, this Annihilape could kill me this week, but I'm hoping not. All right, next we got the Lavender Town Gengars, who picked Wo Chien. for their A tier when they already had 2 other dark types. So we got
that's the real reason he didn't show up for the draft, because he didn't
he
want
was
to get
scared.
questioned on what again.
My darling roommate asked me to skewer his team, and I am more than happy to do so.
All right, take it away then, Anthony.
Oh, well, where do we start? The only thing I like about this... No, I'm kidding. Roaring Moon's great. That I will say his S tier is a phenomenal Pokemon, but again,
Absolutely.
Dark type. Here we go. So yeah, huge fighting weakness on this team. Let's count the fighting weak Pokemon. Let's count the fairy weak Pokemon. Holy shit.
Well, he's only got 2 fairy weaknesses.
There was another type I was looking at too that his team is like super weak to besides fighting. I think it was Bug. Bug too? No, it's not Bug.
No.
What was the other one? Ground.
He's got 3 ground weaknesses.
He does have 3 ground weaknesses.
Sharp,
Yeah.
Lucario, and Luxray.
He also has pretty glaring fire weakness too with Lucario.
Poor Alex.
Fire was the other one. Hey, he told me to do this. I will do it.
Now I know.
I do like some of the Pokemon. Donphan was a great pickup. Roaring Moon, great. I don't like Bisharp and Lucario on a team. Oh boy. He picked Golduck because he wanted something to fight weather, but it's still Golduck. Yeah.
Guts Luxray.
There's a Luxray on here, and there's a Braviary. Woohoo.
Hey, Braviary is a champion.
Yeah.
The mascot, anyway.
Yes, the mascot's great, but you don't see me picking Polteageist, so here we are.
Hey, Polteageist is okay.
I picked mine, but mine's banned.
I tried using it the first season, and it was so bad.
I think Luxray gets
in the game,
Trailblaze, so you can... All the Guts users get Trailblaze.
So yeah, Alex wants to make some changes, which is definitely needed, because I'm not impressed by his team.
Yeah, like you said, obviously Wo-Chien, poor pick, get a new AT or something. Like, he definitely needs some more bulk on the team, so I don't mind the Wo-Chien from a bulk side, just like the typing doesn't help you. Like you said, the Lucario and Bishop are kind of just like 2 sides of the same coin. They both kind of do the same thing, just like, I'm gonna try to be a priority attacker against you.
Bisharp is EVO-like this gen, though, so you can do some stuff with it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
it'll survive some not fighting hits if you try to take a turn to Swords Dance.
Yeah, I mean, he talked about wanting Slowbro instead of Wo-Chien, which I think would be a lot
that would
for this
help.
team.
Slowbro or Slowking would definitely help.
And that would be a fighting resist.
Yeah.
Woohoo, he did it.
I don't know, the team is definitely not
Alex
all
has
there.
drafted better. This is not his best team.
No. Honestly, this might be the worst team we've looked at so far.
I agree.
Yeah.
And
Even
not
with
because I'm
Roaring
biased.
Moon.
We'll see. I think Braviary can be good, though. It's a good Scarfer. You know, make me proud with that Braviary, Alex. Alright, next we got the Memphis Muse. Anthony, did you want to talk about Kevin's team here as well?
Got my roommate and my fiance in a row. Here we go. I like Kevin's team significantly more. That is for sure.
Yeah.
You're a little
You can
biased.
actually see some
I'm
type
really
distribution.
pissed that I can help him with a lot of his drafting for this team, but
I'm sure.
I do love it. I mean, he's got Goldago, arguably with Great Tusk as one of the best Pokemon in the gen. He's got Volcarona, excellent threat as well. So he's got some 2 major threats right off the bat. Gyarados, another great threat, Intimidate user. Good setups. Sandy Shocks to help set up hazards, things like that. He needed a good fighting type, so we went with Heracross. Colossal for spinning and hazards as well, if need be. Lilligant as a second Quiver Dance user, because why not? Just have two of them. And
just watch out for Oricorio.
Yeah, I like Lilligant a lot more this gen. I was talking with Kevin about it because it can terastallize, so really good with Quiver Dancing. And Skunk Tank was just like we wanted some kind of poison to fight off some some of the Pokemon. Poison Dark, typing not bad. So it's a C tier. I can't really justify Skunk Tank too much. It's just like the best that we could do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like his team.
Yeah, no, it's got very good just across the board, like, okay, good. You can see what 6 would come and how you'd have to, they all kind of have their own role and their own type. And it's not like, okay, this team just folds to Choice Scarf Close Combat.
We want...
The only... It's a very small nitpick, but I would probably want, a little more of a reliable hazard stacker just to be able to use Goldango a little bit more to keep the hazards up. But, Goldango can still do its thing with Nasty Plot and Recover and all that, and it's still a good choice Scarfer.
Fucker's gonna make it rain, that's for sure.
Yeah. Kevin, what are your thoughts on the Muse?
Goldango's Goldango. That was going into this draft. Goldango was actually one of the mods I was worried about the most. So, there's that. On top of that, though, the Gyarados, pretty versatile. You talked about Intimidate, but it can also be a really nasty Dragon Dance Moxie Sweeper as well.
A lot of setup threats on this team.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't too sure about the Sandy Shocks. I always thought that was kind of like one of the weirder of the Paradox. But
I love Sandy Shocks. Sandy Shocks.
I think it's like one of the weaker ones, but it's still really good for what we've got here in the draft. It's
got the stats too, but
it's faster than it looks like it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, aesthetically it looks like it should be slow as hell, but it's really not.
No, with its base 101 speed.
It's a good Scarfer or a Specs user, but this I definitely see it as a dedicated sort of lead with spikes.
Mm-hmm.
Spikes will switch. Just set up a spike or two and then get out if you can.
Yeah, when I was testing out potential draft picks, I was testing out a Specs Sandy Shocks.
Overall, this is a really good team. I think this might qualify for the S tier.
I'm biased, but I do think he got an S tier team.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm not finding too many flaws with this. I'll give it the S.
The only nitpick I have is I did want a little more bulk on his team. We were trying to get a little bulk on his team, but other than that, that's a nitpick. I think it's still the strongest of the teams we've looked at.
You can run Volcarona bulky, and then just set up with the Quiver Dance when you need to, and you can run Goldango bulky and have Recover. You can find the bulk where you need it on a couple of these Pokemon.
Yeah, Colossal's bulky, but it's Colossal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's up there. Definitely the left side's all really good, and then the C tiers are relatively better than most C tiers. All right, Oklahoma Thunderous. So here we got Skeledirge, got Barraskewda, which I thought was a weird A pick.
Thank you for saying that, because I literally, when he picked it early, and I was like, oh, so he's gonna do a rain team, and then I was like, oh, he didn't take Pelipper.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, because it loses flip turn, so it basically just gets, Liquidation, Close Combat, Psychic Fangs. you know. Dondozo's on there. Dondozo's another interesting one. I don't know how it's going to do on Draft League because it doesn't get, like, we ban rest just because of Wi-Fi timer stuff. So I don't know how it's going to do. I mean, it's still a good, like, physical wall, but its special defense usually isn't that great. I'm sure it'll still do fine just with leftovers and everything, but it's definitely not going to be like it is in regular competitive where you can use rest. Haxorus is solid mold breaker Pokemon. Frostmoth is also really interesting. I think it could do good with terastallizing to get rid of its shit type.
Like it a lot better this gen.
Yeah, but again, it's like I don't like to look at a team and think about how it's going to terastallize because, like, that's so matchup dependent, and I don't like having Pokemon that are like, this Pokemon's only good if I terastallize it. You know?
Yeah.
Which is like how I kind of view Frostmoth. Like, okay, yeah, it's Frostmoth. Any other time we would have made this a C tier, but we're hedging our bets because we're thinking if you tear a ground or something, it might be like halfway decent because it can actually use that extra bulk it gets now to Quiver Dance. Pachirisu, Encore, Electric Immunity stuff. I guess it's okay. Altaria is decent. It gets a really good move pool. Can be a mixed attacker. And then Knacklestack is actually pretty interesting. With Evioli, it's still relatively bulky. It doesn't have like the HP that Garganackle does, but it can do everything else that Garganackle does. So I'll be interested to see how much he brings Knacklestack. What are your thoughts on this team, Cole?
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting. Like, I don't know what he's going to do with Barraskewda, because, I mean, it is fast, but, like, it can't really take it many hits at all.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm a fan of Skeledirge. It's really, really, really fun to use.
But Skeledirge also, like, does, like, the same thing every time, right?
Yeah.
And that's another Pokemon there that you're like, ooh, I want to be able to terastallize this. Because I need to, like, survive around a lot more so that I can keep torch songing until I'm able to, like, KO things.
Yeah, like throat spray, torch song.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, you know, I mean, Haxorus is good, Frostmoth, Dondozo. It's an interesting team. Curious to see what he does with it, though.
Yeah, what do you think, Kevin?
This one's tricky for me because, I mean, it was brought up before, the Barraskewda team's out of place, and then the Dondozo, I don't know what it's doing with Rest Band. I'm interested to see how he's able to mitigate that, but it just seems like a lot of these could be threats aren't as threatening just because of the rest of the team composition. I don't know, I'm not that impressed with it.
Anthony, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, that pretty much sums it up. I think Trevor's a really good coach. I think he can make changes if need be, but this is not my favorite team he's made.
No.
Yeah, also, like, hazards, all you have is the Knacklestack to get them up, and you have no way to remove them.
Yeah, that was one thing I noted, too.
Yeah. So even if you want to terastallize that Frostmoth, it's going to come in at 50% anyway.
So yeah, you have like 3 things that are weak to rocks.
Oh. You know, the more I look at this, I think this is another C tier. It might even, do I say it might even be D tier?
I don't.
Oof.
I have a team in my head that I think is D, and I don't think they're on the same level as that team.
I think though, I don't like this team. I don't like this team.
I think it's a low C, and if we move him down to D, we move him down to D. But I think he's definitely it's not his best.
Yeah. What do you think, Kevin? Do you agree with that?
I'm fine with C. I was more leaning towards D, but
Oh,
we'll
see,
see.
so,
maybe
so
I
there's
think-
another D lever with me.
I mean, I'm okay if we put him in D. It's like I said, it's not Trevor's best, but
No.
I just have such a clear picture in my head of what a D team looks like.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what
We'll
the
get
other
there.
what the other D tier team is. I think I know who we're talking about, but let's keep moving on here. We'll put him in the D for now, just because we got no one there. On to Paris Saint-Germain.
Well, the Badoofs aren't in the majors anymore, so it's not like we can just throw them there.
Right?
Oh God.
Yeah. No Badoofs. No Badoofs this season. All right, so we got a team here. Glamora, Iron Hands, Klefki. So Glamora obviously is just hazards.io.
Hazard hell.
Yeah.
Hell.
Right.
Iron Hands is a very bulky physical attacker. It can survive a lot of hits just because its HP stat is so good. Even like
Really good in
earthquakes.
raids. Really good in raids.
Yeah, not as good. It's not good enough to bring to every raid. I hate it when I see people bring it to everything. Like, you still gotta look at your types.
Only
Anyway.
belly drum here, friend.
So then we got Klefki, dual screen, spikes again. Kind of a little redundant to Glamora. Staraptor's a good choice scarfer. Rotom has a good dual typing.
I always think Rotom Mo's a sleeper.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't have the defensive utility of the other Rotoms because of that grass typing.
It's definitely a tier below the other Rotoms, but whenever it's in like B tier, I always feel like it's like one of the better Bs.
Yeah, just because you're like, ooh, it's a volt switching grass type, which as far as like grass types go, it's like good for a grass type. Like, I don't think it's good for an electric type. He also has Iron Hands, so he's kind of like doubling up on that, but I think it's good for a grass type. Then
But
we
at least
got,
it doesn't catch any like ground weakness either, you know.
yeah, Pyroar. Not the best fire type, but it at least gives him fire type. Clawitzer, and then Banette for a ghost type. Which I'm actually, I kind of like Banette. Physical ghost Pokemon, so like it's definitely not bad. What are your thoughts on this, Anthony?
Well, speaking of ground weaknesses, there's quite a few.
Yep.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
So good thing he has that Rotom to that in the Staraptor. Yeah,
It has the magnet rise.
I definitely don't like the Klefki and Glamora. I think you definitely get rid of the Klefki. Or, yeah.
I don't know, I might even get rid of the Glamora. Like, am I really using my S tier to stack hazards?
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah, I
Glamora...
thought it was weird that Glamora was an S tier though.
Just because it is like...
Usage-wise, it's very good, but yeah, I don't think it's a good S tier pick.
No.
It's not like all these other teams where we're like, wow, that S tier is at least really good, but everything else is like that one's like, okay, that's not a great S tier pick.
I mean,
But
I
yeah.
like the Iron Hands.
I do like the Iron Hands.
I wish there was some like wish support on this. Maybe he should look into one of the evolutions, see if there's one available that can like wish pass to keep Iron Hands healthy.
Yeah.
He has good momentum though between Staraptor and Rotom Mo though. U-turn and Volt Switch around.
I like Clawitzer too. I've used that in previous seasons. I like Clawitzer.
It doesn't get access to the terrain pulse this time, right? So what can it do?
No, it doesn't.
Quick
The only
water.
ones that do are Balaba's family.
Yeah.
Which until I was looking up
So you get
Arbalaba's
Dark
moves,
Pulse,
I kind
Dragon
of forgot about
Pulse,
Terrain
Aura
Pulse.
Sphere. Right? Does Aura Sphere work with it? Water Pulse, of course.
Yeah.
It does.
Or
Or
it works
does
with it,
work with it. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think that might be all the pulse moves it gets.
So you know what it's doing, but like at least like I like it as like a special attacker on this team.
Yeah.
Because it's not a lot of special attackers on this team either. So, like,
No.
that and Rona Mo, really.
And Glamora.
Yeah, but are you using your Glamora as
no, I
a
know.
attacker? It's just like...
If you're Gita, you are.
It's just Neoligo at home at that point.
Right?
Yeah. It has a good special attack stat, though. Like,
But one ground move and it's bye-bye.
yeah.
Bye-bye.
Where would you put them, Kevin?
I mean,
I think the team is, like, solid, though, because I'm just looking like if that Glamora was more of an offensive threat, then the
I'd
team
like
would be
him
good.
a lot more.
Yeah.
I gotta disagree with. I'm not sure who said it, but I actually like the Klefki. At the release of X and Y, I actually used Klefki quite a lot, and it wasn't for hazards. Granted, I was an asshole, so there's that. But there's a lot of cool little things that Klefki could do. Don't hate on Keezus, all right? All hail.
I don't think anyone doesn't like the Klefki. It just seems redundant with the Glamora.
That I can agree with, yeah.
But I definitely think as a dual screener, like Thunderwave, Spreader, and Spiker, like you can definitely do a lot with it.
I've always loved Klefki, so it wasn't hating on Klefki. It was literally just have it with Glamora.
I want to say either like high C or low B, just because I think it still has like a good, very solid core.
I would say low B, honestly. Like, I'm not trying to be nice here. Like, I think that's actually it looks better than the C teams to me. Because like I can at least see like, to me, like if you're a C team, I feel bad saying this with you on the podcast, Cole. I'm sorry, but I feel like you need to make a lot of changes to be like a higher level team. Whereas this team, where I put you in B, is like you can make like 1 or 2 changes and you're an A team.
Yeah. Cole, what do you have anything you want to add to that?
Not really. I think Anthony said it all.
He said it all. All right, and here are the Phoenix Primals. So, Kevin, tell us about your team.
Well, I'll be honest with y'all. Cyclozar was like my 5th S tier pick, but the other ones got sniped. So I guess that's what happens when you're 17th out of 20.
I was say, why don't you do worse this season, and then you'll get a higher pick.
I'll take that into consideration. Thank you. But no, I just with Cyclozar, I wanted to kind of build a team around Cyclozar because Cyclozar basically promotes like really safe switches, or in the best case scenario, it allows me to set up for free. So that's why I went with Azumarill as my A tier pick. That just seemed really solid synergy to me. Medicham is basically my secondary mascot at this point, so I had to kind of go with that. That Medicham.
Well, you can't pick Groudon, so.
Yeah, true. Maybe one day. But no, Medicham actually got a lot of cool new tricks this generation too, so I'm excited to test out some different sets with that. Toadscruel at first was only there because I wanted something that could, deal with Goldango and Garganacl. But then I started playing around with it more, and I have like 5 different Toadscruel sets, so it's actually more versatile than I thought.
I love Toadscruel. I think that was a really good pickup, honestly. It's got Spore.
True.
Yeah, but it's got negative priority Spore, so
But it can put Goldango to sleep.
Fair.
It's got
Arcanine,
Mold Breaker at home.
Mold Breaker at home. It's basically Stall, but slightly better. Arcanine, in formats where Incineroar doesn't exist, Arcanine is beastly.
Yeah.
So
Arcanine's always good anyway.
Yeah. Arcanine's a good pickup.
Caporaja, it was like the best steel type we had left, so I wanted to go with that. Then it kind of hits hard with Heavy Slam too. It's a big chunky boy.
Thick thighs.
That and very true. And also, high key elephants are like my favorite animals, so I mean, just like a triple whammy right there. Zangoose, I had some pretty decent success with last season I played. The only reason I drafted it last season was because it was the only mon left in the draft that could one-shot your Cresselia there. So,
Right.
And then Spidops, it's
Spidops.
I think. Well, I mean,
it's sticky webs, guys. Come on.
It's sticky webs, yeah.
Sticky webs and spikes. Get spikes.
Speedy.
Then if you're able to catch someone on the switch, I mean, First Impression does a decent amount with Stakeout. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. So,
all right,
I'll let you guys have the floor.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the team, Anthony? I'm just typing something real quick.
I like the ideas with the Cyclozar. One thing I'm noticing is definitely needing some special attack here. Lot of physical, lot of physical. So that's probably my biggest note is like, if someone has bulky like physical Pokemon, you've got a rough time ahead of you. Although Azumarill hits like a truck, so you know. Azumarill is also high-key one of my favorite Pokemon in competitive, so I always give extra points if you pick it. I love that Pokemon so much. Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of it. I do like a lot of it. I just want special bulk, and I don't. Do you have a? Does anything spin? I don't think anything spins.
Cyclozar.
Toad Scroll. Yeah, okay.
Toad Scroll and Cyclozar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I like this team, but yeah, definitely some things I want changed, like wanting special attack anywhere.
And just bulk in general too. I mean, basically you're relying on Cyclozar to be your bulk.
I mean, Toad Scroll's decently specially bulky, but
yeah, but also has a crap typing.
True.
So it has a lot of.
But guys, Spore.
I'll just dodge the Ice Beam. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what Anthony said. I'll say some things I do like. I mean, obviously Cyclozar is like a good utility Pokemon. But then piggybacking off of what Anthony said, your two best threats, Azumarill and Medicham, are kind of similar, to be honest.
With huge power and
pure
power,
yeah. And,
all about that are.
And Medicham is, it gets Trailblaze now. I don't know why I'm the Trailblaze guy here, but I keep saying like, oh, when a mediocre speed Pokemon gets Trailblaze, like there are certain Pokemon that like force switch-ins, and that's where Trailblaze is the best, is when you're able to like force a switch-in so you can get that turn to Trailblaze. Like, sure, you're hitting with a weak move, but at least you know you'll outspeed the switch in the next turn.
It's a free Scarf with being able to switch, so yeah.
Yeah. No. I've never been like a fan of Medicham either, so it might be my bias there. But yeah, but the lack of like overall bulk, like you're basically using the Shed Tail as your bulk, because you're not gonna get like someone, you're not gonna switch one of your things in, have it take a hit, and then force something out, because you don't even have the speed really to force something out either. So you're relying on Cyclozar to Shed Tail, bring something in, have that take the hit. Now maybe they can survive another hit to get them. Like that's like my gripe there.
Okay, fair enough.
Cole, what are your thoughts on the team?
I mean, you know, basically everything's been said anyway. You know, like, yeah, like with Cyclozar, it's kind of obvious that you're probably going to Shed Tail. I do like Azumarill. I know how well Medicham worked for you. But yeah, I agree with Anthony with the lack of special attackers.
Yeah,
And
it's
the
really
lack
just
of
Toad-Scroll. And
bulk
you could
outside
run
of-
Arcanine Special, but I feel like physical is... Like, physical support is better.
Yeah.
Arcanine's
Special Arcanine.
special set is more for utility with like Snarl and stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to run Snarl in
It's
single.
pretty mid.
Yeah.
If you're gonna run it as special
Yeah,
attack. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not.
I'd rather invest in bulk and then have the extreme speed. Alright, so Anthony, where would you put the primals?
I like a lot of it, so I'm between low A and high B.
I'm trying to think if I like it better than Black City or not. It's like somewhere around there.
That's where I'm kind of at right now. It's
Yeah.
like where I was like Black City is an A team. Like this is definitely like I think I said the same for Black City. Low A, high B. I think this is the same level to me, like low A,
Like
high
Black
B.
City might even get moved down to like B-ish.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. What do you think, Cole? Where would you put the primals?
Yeah, I kind of agree with moving Black City down and putting Evan up in low A.
Yeah, I can go with that. I can pick up what we're putting down here. Yeah. I mean, the team definitely has some threats. You just gotta, son, I mean, I guess I shouldn't say anything, but if you're going against this team, just do your calcs against Cyclozar. Make sure you can break those subs against certain Pokemon. All right, Anthony, take it away with the Pittsburgh Polteageist.
Sure. So Iron Moth, giant threat. Took that as my S tier. Rotom Wash, the old reliable. So many different sets you can run on that little boy. Bulky, more.
Yeah,
special attacker.
probably should not have been A tier.
Yeah.
So
when
I gotta
A tier-
say, sometimes I feel like the rules committee holds me back.
Yeah, I saw that in the A
because
tier.
we have to come out with these tier lists like so far in advance to get everything else kind of going that we don't really let a meta in the competitive develop and everything. So we're like making assumptions. We're saying like, okay, this isn't being used a lot. Oh, this is new toy syndrome. Like we're trying to make assumptions on things. So then when we come out with a tier list and we don't draft until like 2 or 3 weeks later, like so much happens in Pokemon in that time. And then it's like, ooh, why did I put that in B tier? Why did I put that in A tier? Like,
Where did you want Rotom in B tier?
Oh no, it'd be S tier.
I was gonna say
Well,
no.
wasn't-
The second I saw him in A tier, I knew he was gonna be my first pick in the
Yeah.
draft because I knew I was later in the game. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just start with my A tier. When I'm late in the draft, that's always my strategy. Is like, don't even look at the S tier because unless you somehow get a really late pick Cresselia.
Yeah.
You plan for like the A tier, like just picking the best in the A tier. So the second I saw Rotom Wash, I'm like, this is the start of my draft. Like easy. This should not be an A. So
Yeah.
that was immediately where I started. So yeah, Rotom Wash is great. Mimikyu, great threat, amazingly strong fairy type. Earthworm, also a Shed Tail user. So love that. I have a few good setup sweepers here on this team. So Earthworm can really help with that. Hariyama wanted a fighting type, and it was the best one I could get in D at the time. Masquerin, really great lead. It's got Sticky Web. It's got Sleep Powder. Can do a lot of stuff. It's a great support Pokemon. Serena can spin and also a very strong grass type. And Gothitelle, honestly, I just wanted bulk. So I picked it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna kind of finish my thought there, but that I was kind of running with, but
Whoops.
yeah, there's just not a lot of time to like make changes as fast as the meta changes. But yeah, Rotom Wash I probably would have made S. Earthworm I probably would have made A. So and Serena I probably made B. So just right on this team, there's 3 Pokemon that I think are not that are like really good value for the tier that they're in.
Sniped him.
Yeah, even Mimikyu, like Mimikyu's always a Pokemon that I'm like, man, like bad teams are not going to be able to beat a Mimikyu, so should I make it A automatically? Like, it's not an A tier Pokemon, But it's always a Pokemon that I'm like, man, bad teams aren't going to know how to, like, beat it, and they're just going to let it set up, and then they're going to die. And they're going to be like, Mimikyu is so strong. Because they're not going to plan around. But anyway, Kevin, what are your thoughts on the Polteageist?
I really like the team. One thing I will point out is that since Orthworm and Cyclozar kind of serve very similar-esque roles, while Orthworm may not get the Regenerator to be able to continuously shed tails throughout the course of a game, what it does give you is it gives you a slow shed tail, which means you don't have to worry so much about if your opponent calced how to break that substitute, because you're probably going to switch out last. You just have to make sure you can survive that initial hit with enough health to make the shed tail happen.
God, how is Orthworm going to survive a hit?
I don't know, man. You're going to have to figure that out.
That's going to be the trick.
No, I like the team. And
Orthworm is also a lot more susceptible to taunt than Cyclozar as well. So this is a team that if you have a couple taunt users, you can basically just make Orthworm not be able to do too much. And taunt also works pretty good against like Mimikyu. And even Hariyama to a slighter extent.
I kind of feel like you kind of went a very similar kind of route that I did. Like, I was initially going to get Masquerain for myself because of Sticky Web, but then you took it, so I went with Speed Ops instead.
Speed Ops.
Speed Apps. But yeah, no. I can't really see that big of a flaw with this team. I mean, it seems solid to me.
Do you have any thoughts, Cole?
Not really. I mean, everything has basically been said.
Yeah, no, it's a very, very strong team. Obviously, Iron Moth, very, very strong special attacker, gets access to the Fiery Dance as well, so it can even snowball even harder. 140 special attack, really good. Again, we've already kind of said Rotom Wash with Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, Will-O-Wisp. Just a really good, great typing and good utility Pokemon. Mimikyu again is one of those Pokemon that just against less prepared coaches is just gonna put in a lot of work. Orthworm, kind of the same thing. I think it can be played around a little bit more than Cyclozar, but if you let it get off a shed tail or two, it definitely gets a lot of value out of that. Hariyama's like okay.
It was the best fighting type I really
like,
wanted to.
Okay.
And it was just like, okay, I guess I take Hariyama.
Yeah. And does it still get knockoff?
I have honestly no idea.
But the C tiers are all very very solid. Yeah, it does still get knockoff, so yeah. And it gets Headlong Rush too, which is good, yeah.
Hell yeah.
And so I mean, and Masquerain is like the best sticky webber, and Serena's really good. Got the rapid spin. Hazards, you really only got. I mean, you got the sticky web, but for rocks, you got Orthworm.
Orthworm, yeah,
that's really it. Which again, just that's all I was saying with taunt is that Orthworm's really susceptible to taunt. Like you wouldn't be able to rocks or do the shed tail with that. So that is something to think about. And Gothitel's like okay. I've never really been a fan of Gothitelle, especially without Shadow Tag.
Used.
Yeah. But I mean I think this team is still really good. Like it has like all the threats, and I already said that. I think it has like really good value in its tier picks, stuff that if I had the power, would have been moved up prior to the draft. Cole, where would you put the Polteageist? Remember, Cole, he put you in C tier.
Fair.
Let the hate flow through
Let the hate flow through you.
given to your
Unlike
head.
him, I'm a nice person. So I'd say either like high A, or I'd say throw him up with his fiance.
What do you think, Kevin? Where would you put him?
I'll give a minute here.
What do you think, Ryan?
I'd probably put him up in S. I'd have to look again in Memphis, but they.
Kevin.
I like to put Anthony up in S, so when I beat him, it's just like that much sweeter for me.
Listen, man.
When my Clefable stomps that Cresselia, and I taste those sweet Calm Mind tears. All right, next we got the Reno Wheezing, coming back here. Last time they played was Anthony's first season in the league, so that's how long it's been.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah, got a Sun team here. Got Torkoal, got the Ceruledge, which is interesting. Got Hatterene, which I like. Scovillain, so he's got the Chlorophyll user. Crocodile. Sawsbuck. Doxbund is definitely interesting. One of those Pokemon that Wish Passer. And then Electrode is meh. But what are your thoughts on this team, Anthony?
I like a lot of it. I definitely like a lot of it. Ground weakness is large, but that's expected.
Yeah, I'm not even looking at the Electrode though, to be honest. Like I don't care about the Electrode. So.
Yeah, I mean it's Electrode. Yeah, no, I like a lot of it. I do.
I'm looking more like the rock weakness, and Torkoal is weird, right? Because it gets rapid spin, but you're not gonna. It's not a Pokemon that can keep coming in to rapid spin, right?
No, not
Yeah.
You bring it in, you try to get up your rocks, and then you bring it out because you want the sun again later. Like that Torkoal can't keep coming in. So I mean, they got a Hatterene, which is nice.
And they can Wish Pass onto the Torkoal, to try to keep it alive for that.
Yeah, with Doxbund, yeah. That's true. Doxbund is also nice because it helps to stop opposing fire types from doing a bunch of damage.
No, I wanted Doxbund for Kevin's team, and it got picked literally that round before Kevin was going to pick it.
Cole, what do you think about the Wheezing?
I mean, it's a good team. I wasn't sure what he was gonna do because I know he likes his bulky stall teams.
Yeah, this definitely isn't bulky
that
stall.
Bring the timer down to like the last few seconds. Yeah, I mean, otherwise it's pretty good. Like you said, he's got the two Flash Fire Mons, or well, the two fire immunities, Ceruledge and Doxbund.
Yeah. I like kind of going off what I said about Anthony's team with Pokemon that are like good values at their tier. Like I think Hatterene and Ceruledge are both pretty good value too. Like Hatterene probably could have been an A tier, and Ceruledge is still like a high end A tier. Kevin, did you want to add anything?
I'm worried about revealing too much because he's my week 1 opponent, but
you got to be honest with yourself.
I will be honest. I like it. There are a couple of there's a couple of things, like obviously the Electrode. I guess that could be like your fast screens, and then I don't know, maybe blow up after you set up your screens to bring in something safely.
True.
But I mean, it seems solid. It's got a few weaknesses, but I mean, nothing that he can't cover for if he sees it himself too. So, no, solid Sun team. I like it.
Where would you put it then, Kevin? It doesn't like blow me away for a Sun team, but it still has like good value. in a
Yeah.
lot of these.
Yeah, it's got good legs. It's not like
Yeah.
stellar, but it's good.
I was thinking high B tier. I don't know about you guys, but I was thinking high B tier.
He doesn't want it to be higher than his team.
I knew you were gonna say that shit. I knew you were gonna say it.
You set it up, not my fault. What do you think, Anthony? Do you agree?
I think it might be good enough to be an A.
Like, by good enough in A, do you mean like here, or do you think it would be somewhere even higher?
I don't. Oh, that's tough. I don't know. Let's hear yours and Cole's input before I.
All right, let's hear Cole's input. Cole, where would you put them?
I'd probably put them in low A.
Low A?
Yeah.
I think so. Their team's actually kind of similar to the Primals, who we got them sitting right next to here, because typically you run Hatterene a little bit bulkier, so they don't really have like
Too much bulk.
yeah, they don't have a lot of bulk.
It's all physical bulk.
And they don't have like too many special attackers. They're like Torkoal, again, you don't want it coming in, like it's not gonna be shooting off flamethrowers and everything. Hatterene usually gets off like a couple dazzling gleams maybe, but you're using it more for like healing wish, and again, more Nuzzle is really good with Hatterene. And Scovillain is basically like your special attacker, right? But it's very limited because it really only gets fire and grass special attacks. Like if you want actual like coverage, you got to go physical, so you can use like Crunch and Zen Headbutt, but that'd probably be more of like, oh, I'm going against another team we haven't talked about yet, but oh, I'm going against the Waco Scissors. I need to make sure I have Zen Headbutt on here. So that's probably like its special attacker. So it kind of has that same sort of dynamic as the Primal. So I'd probably put it where it is. I think it's right about there. I think they kind of have like the same sort of team structure, but maybe Reno's a little bit better just because of like the weather push. But I mean, I guess we'll see this week 1. All right, next we got the Seattle Shiny Sylveons. Starting off hot, or maybe I should say cold, with that Iron Bundle. Then they got Espathra, which is, again, one of those Pokemon that if you're not prepared for it, it's gonna do its thing and kill you. Bronzong, I like Bronzong, very good rock setter. Houndoom. Palma is definitely interesting. I don't know how it'll be without Revival Blessing, with that being banned. Murkrow, I mean, good utility Pokemon. Sandaconda is...
Doubles.
What's that?
I said in doubles.
Yeah, but it can still, like, spread some status. Like, maybe you really want the Tailwind for, like, to lead off your game or something. I don't know. Like, yeah, definitely. In doubles, obviously, it's way better, but it can do some stuff. It can taunt. It might get some other things that I have to look up. Sandaconda is kind of, like, interesting. I mean, Sandaconda's always done good in our draft leagues, though, so I'm kind of interested. See how it'll do, though, with outside of a GMAT
I
format.
love Sandaconda.
Yeah.
Sandaconda.
Anthony had fun with Sandaconda.
Yeah.
My Sandaconda did so well this season. I used it.
I think that thing was a monster.
One sandy boy.
Lurantis lost superpower, though, which really hurts its contrary set.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
Yeah, so it's basically just like Leaf Storm, which means any steel type can kind of cover it.
Wall the fuck up. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Sylveon's Cole?
I mean, he definitely does have an interesting team. I like Iron Bundle. I like Espathra. Murkrow is always, a really good prankster, as Anthony knows.
Caca, motherfucker.
Pawmont, I don't know what it does without Revival Blessing. I mean, it has Double Shock, but it's like, okay, now you're just a pure fighting type, like. But yeah, beyond that, she has an interesting team. Curious to see what she does with it. Especially as it's, her first season in the majors.
What do you think, Kevin? You seem to be down on this team.
I love the Iron Bundle and the Espathra. Those are... I'm actually terrified of those, not gonna lie.
Just don't set up in front of Espathra.
I think Speed Boost is more reliable.
Yeah.
I do like the Bronzong. It could potentially set up screens, or it could, set up Stealth Rock. This is the first team where I was like, I don't have like a solid like opinion right off the bat. So I think it's good. I just don't have like a good reason to say anything super positive or super negative about it.
Well, what do you think, Anthony?
I want a better physical attacker on this team than Pawmont.
Yeah.
That's like my biggest thing.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of special bulk other than Bronzong, like, could be.
Our bundle is decently especially bulky. It doesn't have the HP stat, but it's got a decent special defense.
Yeah, but it's not going to be your bulky Pokemon.
No.
Yeah.
Like,
I will say one of the pluses of her team is there's no one type that kind of wrecks her.
I'm using
that's what I was looking for. Yeah, there's not one single type that just like.
Yeah, no, she did good on covering her types. That's
Yeah.
That part I like a lot. That's one thing I love about Bronzong too, is like you can do heat proof or you can do levitate depending on the week. Like, so that's always great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's as much as like, type weakness is not much of a problem. I'm still not like, I feel like very much Kevin covered it. Like, it's like, I don't have strong opinions on this team. It just seems like fine. Like it's got some stuff I like and some stuff I don't like, but nothing where it's like, oh, this is really bad or like really good.
Yeah.
It's just a very middling team.
Yeah, I will say I'm glad that this team got Iron Bundle. I like when we do allow like these broken, really strong Pokemon in the draft league, and the minor league teams from last season are the ones who pick them. Because it'd be pretty bad if like Iron Bundle dropped to like the 10th or 11th pick, and then like Cole got Iron Bundle, and then be like, damn it. So, I mean, Iron Bundles. It's kind of like I like the first 3 Pokemon, and then the rest I have
that's exactly how I feel. I look
bad
at the
feelings,
and they're great, and then everything else is like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I like Sandaconda a lot, though. I'm very biased. Sandaconda, great.
Yeah, I mean, Sandaconda is fine, but I mean, it's going to be chipping your own team other than the Bronzong too. So, if you go with Sandspay, I mean, you could just.
You don't have to go with Sandspay.
Yeah, you could go with Shedskin. Where would you put it then, Anthony?
To me, this is like textbook B.
I feel like nothing low B.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way I'm putting this higher than B because, like I said, there's nothing that really like stands out to make me want to like say it's great.
Yeah. Do you concur, Kevin?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, just a few more. Winnie Sears got the Palafin, Kilowattrel, Brute Bonnet, Dragalge, Magneton, Komala, Phalanx, and Sudowoodo. So this is our minor league champion from the previous season. What, as a previous minor league champion, what do you think, Kevin? Oh wait, no, you weren't the champion. That's right. That was the. Oh wait, or were you? I forget now. Who was the champion? You were the champion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, your hesitation made me hesitate. I thought you'd take that. That's like your badge.
Well, obviously with the Palafin pick, he starts off really strong.
Oh, yeah.
But then it just kind of tapers off.
It drops off real hard after.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the Kilowattrel is fine. I mean, it gives you an electric immunity to protect the Palafin.
Not to reuse this joke for the millionth time, but Zapdos at home.
But yeah, I mean, adaptability Dragalge could be fun, but I don't know. Just after the Palafin, it kind of it takes a hard nosedive for me, to be honest.
No, I can concur with that. What are your thoughts, Cole?
I mean, I do like Kilowattrel. Like I used one, in like my Nuzlocke and then my regular playthrough, and those were fun. The Brute Bonnet that I've been using has been kind of good. Dragalge can, and it's got okay special attack, decent special defense. Yeah, I mean, other than the Palafin, his team's just kind of okay. There's not really like one thing it does very well.
Whose side? What do you have to say?
I was gonna say
they're my week one opponents, so like, yeah, I'm not. You said they're like, other than the Palafin, they're just okay. Like to me, it seems actively not good outside of the Palafin. Like the Brute Bonnet's like okay, like really okay.
Yeah, Brute Bonnet's like okay.
Yeah, Kilowattrel.
Sport as Sucker Punch.
It's like the first one's amazing. The second two are okay, and everything else to be seemed bad. Like at that point.
Yeah.
Like Magneton is okay. I've used Magneton before. Like it's fine. Like you scarf it, and Dragalge is so medium, and the CTAs are all terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Dragalge doesn't get a lot. And this team really, like, are you gonna use Sudowoodos to get up your rocks? Like,
right?
Is that what we're gonna do here? And then you have no way to remove rocks. I think Komala gets Rapid Spin. So
very large fighting weakness too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, true. If you're bringing your 2 C tiers.
3, two of the C tiers, but then but 2 of the good like quote unquote better Pokemon are also fighting weak too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kilowattrel, and Dragalge, your fighting resists aren't going to be taking a bunch of close combats over and over again.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like about Kilowattrel is it's very low defenses.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of bulk on this team, like at all.
No.
There's Dragalge.
And Eviolite Magneton, but that's basically it.
You would never Eviolite a Magneton. At least I hope you don't. Oh my god.
If you weren't Evioliting a Magneton before, you probably won't now.
Right.
Oh my god.
Does Brute Bonnet get any healing? I feel like it might get Synthesis.
I think it does.
Yeah, it gets Synthesis, so I mean...
Yippee.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got good defenses. It's just like, okay.
It's a decently fast Spore user.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we're all not like super high on this team. Where would you put it, Kevin?
It's gonna sound mean. I'm not trying to be, but I think it's below Oklahoma for me.
Oh wow!
Like the Palafin is the only thing that I like on the team, but maybe
I second that with Kevin. I'm gonna be brutally honest.
This was the other D tier team you were talking about.
No, this isn't even the D tier team I was talking about. But looking at this team now, like more so with this, like I like Trevor's team better. I do. I like more Pokemon on Trevor's team than this one. I like literally one Pokemon, and it's Palafin.
All right. Spicy.
What do you think they're at, Ryan, since you seem to be judging me and Kevin's opinion?
I mean, I don't disagree with it. I just kind of like, I don't know, like, Trevor's team was so weird. Like, so...
But what does this team do? Honestly, what does this team do besides Palafin?
Yeah, but it does Palafin, which is a lot.
Oh, wow, it sure do.
That Palafin's a lot. Palafin is like...
Palafin is a god.
A lot. Palafin's a lot.
So we put it in the god tier.
And I don't hate Kilowattrel, like...
I wasn't hating on Kilowattrel either.
It's a fast specs user, and as I forget who mentioned it, if it was Cole or Kevin, but it gives them an electric immunity for, again, Palafin.
And it covers the grass weakness too, as well.
Brute Bonnet is also... Like, I'm looking at all of this stuff in terms of Palafin, right? All of these, like, resist
team support
what hits Palafin. But look, electric immunity and grass resist. Electric and grass resist. Electric and grass resist. Electric and grass resist. Like, everything, whenever you try to kill Palafin, one of these things can come in until Palafin can come back in. So, like...
Okay, so if
I'm tunnel vigiling on the Palafin. Like, listen, I'm not disagreeing that, like, the team isn't good. If we want to put it in the D tier, I'm not going to disagree with that. But at least I can see the shining gem that is Palafin. On Oklahoma, I can't see the shining gem.
Nobody is saying that Palafin's not a shining gem.
Week one, and I'm gonna be so salty. I feel it already.
Right. Then we're gonna circle back to everything that you've said about his team so far.
You know what I mean? So for me, if we're gonna do this, I'd probably go like this. If you want it down there, but
everything I've said about this team is Palafin is amazing. Everything else is here.
But they all make Palafin better. Are you not going to attack with your grass or electric move against Palafin? You fool.
Here's what I'll say. If and I'm not saying that he doesn't have the potential to do well. I mean, he could obviously make a lot of changes that could boost his team up quite significantly. But if he keeps it the way it is, even if he does well, his differential is going to suffer. Because basically the rest of his team is going to be, you die, that way Palafin can live.
Yeah, his team is death fodder for Palafin to survive.
No, like I said, I'm not disagreeing
with
what you guys are saying. I'm just thinking, like, at least I can see the diamond, right?
The diamond in the rough.
On Oklahoma, like, maybe we should go back to Oklahoma for a quick second, but I'm just like, where's the diamond?
Knuckle stack, obviously.
Yes, obviously it's the Knuckle stack. All right, moving on.
Crack it open, it's there.
Tokyo Togekiss.
Oh, look, the team I was talking about.
All right.
Yeah, I figured that's what you were talking about.
We got Meowscarada, we got Mousehold, we got Sylveon, Gardevoir, Zoroark, Leafeon, Dedenne, and Greedent. Oh, what's this? Get out of here. All right. Go ahead, Anthony.
What I will say is this is the team to most likely be like a trainer in like your playthrough of the game. You know, only cute Pokemon, only them.
What do you mean? Zoroark is mischievous,
but cute. Yeah, this team is a lot of the same weaknesses.
Hello, Poison.
I'm sorry, everyone who wanted a fairy type. Tokyo gets them all.
Tokyo took every single one.
Did you want a fairy type? Tough shit. But yeah, this team.
Did you want something bulky? Go ahead, because Tokyo's not going to take any of them.
Yeah, their best bulk is Sylveon, which is like, okay, but...
Sylveon's good bulk. I like Sylveon, but...
Yeah, it'll be a wish passer, but I mean, it's going to be hard to pass to anything on this team because they'll all die when they come in.
They'll die instantly, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Unless it's Meowscarada with a Focus Ash.
Get population bombed off this planet, so here we go.
Yeah, I mean, but again... Sorry, Kevin, I missed that. Can you repeat it?
I said, don't underestimate the power mouse.
But this is what I'm going to say about Mousehold, and I've said this about a couple other Pokemon. In Draft League, everyone knows your team.
Yeah.
You bring Mousehold, I'm going to bring my Steel type with a Rocky helmet.
Or literally any ghost type.
Yeah, or a ghost type. I mean, it can get Bite, which is pretty strong Technician, but still. Same difference. Like, or, you know, Mousehold is one of those Pokemon that has Telegraph. Like, you know what it's going to do. It's going to have Population Bomb, it's going to have Tidy Up, it's going to have Bite, and, like, one other move. Maybe Encore or something. Their only hazard setter is Meowscarada, which is fine. Like, I don't hate spikes on Meowscarada, but then all you got is spikes. Like, you don't got a Stealth Rocker. Like, Mousehold's your way to remove hazards, which isn't reliable. That's not what Mousehold wants to be doing. It wants to use that as a pseudo Dragon Dance.
Can we just put this to the bottom of the D and move on to the next team? We've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we should at least talk about it. Did you want to add anything, Kevin?
We owe her that much.
Yeah. My holy poison weakness was like my comment that was
Sure glad I have an S tier poison type.
All right, the Vero Beach Volcarona. So this is an interesting team here. We got Iron Valiant, Hydreigon, Iron Jugulus, and Primeape. So right off the bat, there's 4 fairy weaknesses. We see another one over on the other side. The Dunsparce, that'll be fun. Avalugg, Bulky Boy, Slacking.
Unless there's to a special attack.
Yeah. What do you think, Cole?
I mean, you know,
Iron Valiant's really good, right? Iron Valiant's almost on the level of Dragapult with the, like, what sort of sets you can bring. Not as much as Dragapult, but it's close.
You can definitely do a lot with Iron Valiant.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, Ed being Ed, I'm sure he'll find some weird way to utilize this team, because, you know, what's been said before is the best part about Ed is his unpredictability, because you don't know what he's gonna do.
I certainly this is gonna do.
It's interesting that he has Hydreigon and Iron Jugulus, because they're kind of the same.
Yeah, but Hydreigon's better.
Yeah, Jugulus is way worse.
I wouldn't be surprised if he brought, like, Eviolite Rage Fist Primeape.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the only way to run Primeape now, right?
Primeape.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eviolite.
But I mean, again, when you know it's coming, it's like,
yeah,
I need to trade for one of Tokyo's fairy types before I have to face this team. That's all I think.
The Dunsparce is interesting.
It is a choice.
I like the Dunsparce. It's a bulky boy. He gets Roost. Like, honestly, that's other than the Avalugg, that's like his bulkiest thing here.
Watch out for Giga attacks.
And then Slacking's a choice.
The first thing that I noticed about this team is that if anybody else besides Vero Beach picked Iron Valiant destroys this team, ironically.
Yeah. That's true. He knew what he was doing.
He grabbed his own weakness that nobody else could.
500 IQ.
We're all underneath his level.
Because yeah, like has been said, he's got the fairy weakness, he's got the fighting weakness.
What gets rocks on this team?
Does Pissimian get rocked?
Primeape does.
Primate, yeah.
Yeah, Primate's good for that. With Eviolite, why not?
What gets removal on this team?
Avalugg.
Oh, the Dunsparce gets stealth rocks. Okay, that's your stealth rocker.
Okay.
The Dunsparce. What'd you say got removal?
I think Avalugg gets rapid spin.
Oh yeah, Avalugg gets rapid spin. Yeah, so that's your. All right.
So
that's
I
that.
said before, it gets hit by a special move, and then it's
Aren't Pissimian and Primeape the exact same thing? They're both fighting monkeys that have Defiant.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like it's just like Primeape gets the new broken move, and
An ape
probably
is
what you want.
Richard Swine. How about that?
Even faster too, so Simeon has a little more natural bulk, but I mean if you're running Eviolite, whatever. Yeah, okay, let's rank this. What do you think, Kevin?
I'm thinking probably lowest C for me. Just too many weaknesses.
Yeah, he's got to like drop the Jug and probably the Pissimian and or Primeape and the Slacking. Like there's too many things that need to be dropped / traded.
I think it's a D.
Oh, another D. Damn. We just shelling out D's. Okay, Cole. Where do you think?
This is come on.
Listen, if he goes up against Tokyo, sure, he's cooked, but no one else has fairy types.
I have a lovely fairy type. Thank you very much.
I also have a lovely fairy type. Thank you very much.
Your fairy type is slow, Kevin.
I mean, true, but what? I mean, okay, Iron Valiant could potentially do some damage, but what on this, like, Hydreigon and Iron Juggless aren't going to do anything to...
By the way,
I think Hydreigon gets Sludge Bomb.
Does it get Sludge Bomb? I thought it only got Flash Cannon.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking Belch. They're gonna belch on you.
Got him.
Yeah, Pissimian gets Gunk Shot, so...
But is it bulky enough to take an Aqua Jet, though?
I still think it's a D tier, guys. I just gotta be honest.
But yeah, Tokyo's his first opponent, so he has to face her.
Get fucked.
Oh damn, that'll be good. Okay, all right, Cole. Where do you put him? You'll be the tiebreaker.
I think low C's fine.
All right, that's where he's sitting then. All right, last but certainly not
Cowards.
least.
Cowards, the lot of you.
Or maybe I'm just doing that so I don't agree with Anthony.
Ooh.
You shouldn't have off.
I like that. I like doing things to spite Anthony. I agree with that.
It's the play. It's always the play.
It's always the play. It's always on the table to spite Anthony. All right. Last but not least, Josh in the wake of Scizors making the return since not playing in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. They picked their mascot Scizor. They're very strong.
He had to.
The most obvious pick ever. The second I saw him come up in the draft, he's like, it's Scizor. It's always Scizor.
Yeah. It was probably too early to pick Scizor though. Like, if we're being honest, but like it can definitely do a lot with Terra type.
Scizor is still a very good Pokemon.
Yeah, no, it's still good.
Oh, of course.
Toxapex, still bulky, even if it has been nerfed a bunch. Screamtail, Screamtail's great. Noivern's pretty good. Salazzle's good. Palossand, it's okay. Ampharos is a bulky electric type, and then Lumineon, probably the odd duck here. Well, what are your thoughts, Kevin?
I was gonna kind of say something similar. The Lumineon probably the most like, I don't know, maybe I'm missing something, but it's just, in my opinion, the most unspectacular like water type just by design.
It exists.
It's there. But I mean, yeah, I like everything else. I mean, Scizor. I mean, I always like it when a team picks their mascot. So I would if I could.
Disappointed in you.
Hey, you know what? I was hyped when the Bidoof last season picked Bidoof. Okay, I was hyped.
And then they never used it.
I know.
The god was on the
they didn't win it all, and they still didn't use it. At least bring it. Fail in fashion.
I actually really like Noivern.
Oh yeah, Noivern is very solid.
It's a very slept-on dragon, just because there's lots of better ones. But I mean, this thing can be a really good stall breaker, a really good, terrestrialize user.
Infiltrator is great. So.
Mm-hmm.
I like it more just because it's a U-turn defogger, which is good value in the B tier.
Yeah.
And it gets Hurricane and Draco Meteor for strong stab attacks when you do got to do a little bit of damage.
Yep. The 97 special isn't terrible.
Yeah. The biggest thing with this is, other than the Scizor, there's not like a real offensive threat.
That was going to be my comment.
Yeah,
I was
it's like...
That's like, are you scared of Salazzle? Like, there's not really a lot of offense here other than Scizor.
Yeah, so... That's going to be tough, because Scizor only really kind of does one thing. So it's like, if you have like a fire type, it's going to be hard to break through.
Scizor can be bulky. It can be... I mean, you're going to probably use it as the offensive threat, again, because you have to.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, he's got his main bulk between Toxapex, Screamtail, Palossand, and Ampharos.
Yeah, no. I mean, Ampharos can hit hard too, but
Screamtail's a really good stall breaker though, because it's a fast Encore user and gets a Wish, so you can like lock other stall like Pokemon into whatever their setup move is, and you're usually faster. That unless it's like a Dragon Dance or something, you'll just keep being faster than them. And keep them like locked into that while you're able to like Wish and just do little chip damage through Dazzling Gleam and stuff. So it's like an annoying Pokemon. It's actually pretty good. It gets Stealth Rock, so that's like probably his best Stealth Rock user too. But then if you're running Stealth Rock on it, it's harder to fit the Wish Protect set on there.
Yeah.
Toxapex can run Toxic Spikes, though.
I was going to say Toxapex does set up.
Yeah. Toxapex gets Haze, too, so you'd probably run something like Poison Move, Haze, Recover, Toxic Spikes, or Toxic.
I might get a lot of hate for saying this, but hear me out before you slam me. This kind of, sort of, in a very, like, narrow-minded way, reminds me of the Semi-Series team a little bit, in the way that it seems like this team, its main job is basically to just support Scizor in the same way that we talked about Semi-Series. Their team is basically just there to support
I can't disagree with
Powerman.
that. Like,
no, not at all.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So, like, where would you put them then, Kevin?
I'd probably put them above. I'd probably put them in the mid C tier, like maybe in between for Florida and Lavender, maybe. I don't know, somewhere in there.
Lavender, though, I at least see like the threats.
Pull up Lavender one more time for me, just so I can get a refresher.
Yeah, I mean they had all like the dark types, but at least it's like okay,
yeah,
I see like multiple threats here that I gotta account
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Now I see the team again. I agree.
Yeah. So between like Lavender and Vero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean this team beats Vero just because they have Toxapex and Screamtail. So just those two Pokemon alone defeat all 5 of Vero's fighting types.
Right.
And dark types, the Screamtail. What do you think, Anthony? Do you agree with that, or would you move?
No, that's 100% where I'd put them.
Yeah. All right, so we went through all the teams. Now, I gotta say, we've never had this many D tiers. Do we need to change anything? We're gonna start with you, Cole. Do you have anything you want to change on this?
I mean, I still would say maybe move me below Seattle and B, but otherwise not really. It's kind of
Cole's trying to move up.
no, I know. You had to see that one coming, but yeah, no, I mean, it's pretty well balanced. I gotta say.
A, B, and C all having the same amount is kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is interesting.
It's kind of funny. I don't
Kevin,
think we've ever actually had that
do you
before.
have any that you want to change here? Anyone you think should move up or down?
Who was it directed at?
The only person named Kevin on this podcast.
I didn't hear Kevin. I just heard.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Sorry, I was talking to you, Kevin.
Okay. The only thing I'm kind of torn between is whether or not Oklahoma should be ahead of Vero Beach or not. That's like the only thing that I'm questioning.
What do you think, Anthony?
I originally said I think Trevor could have been a C, so I wouldn't hate switching those two but I also put them both around like low C, high D. So if we want to switch that, I'm okay with it. Other than that, like I think they're around the same power level.
We can do that. Oh man, I don't know why I can't wrap my head around Oklahoma's team. Like at least I don't know. It's something about like okay, Vero picked a bunch of dark and fighting types. I can see that, right? I can see like okay, dark and fighting like for whatever reason. Like Oklahoma's team, I'm just like I can't wrap my head around it. But
If only we could get Trevor on here to defend his team.
yeah, we need a response. He should post on his channel. The Couch Pilot Games has been quiet for too long. He needs to post rebuttal video on this. But all right, Anthony, you're.
I like the power couple on top. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty sweet.
I mean, hey, we've had a power couple on top before with Ryan and Katie, so it was time to have a new power couple.
Well, it helps when you train them to draft well. No, I like the tier list as is. Yeah, no, I think it's solid. Unless we want to move both Oklahoma and Vero down to D, get down there. No, I'm kidding.
Oh damn! I'm gonna make one change, just for the OCD in me. Look now
there you go, Paul.
now it's perfect. Now it's nice and even.
Balanced as all things should be.
Yep. Perfectly balanced. So, all right.
Please, if anyone's in the comments, please start memeing and put Ryan's face on Thanos. Please, I need this in my life.
Balanced as all things should be. I mean, I'll do it my goddamn self. Damn it, I'm like that. I'm like that guy in Scary Movie 2. I can do it myself.
You can do all your championships as your
I
Infinity
can suck
Gauntlet.
my own dick.
Well, I went from 0 to 100 real fucking quick.
Wow, I expected that from me, not from him. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, but yes, so this is our final tier list. If you made it this far in the video, let us know your thoughts on the teams. Hopefully the teams all watch this video so they can either defend themselves if they feel like they're in the C or D tier where they shouldn't be, or, you know, praise us for lauding their team if we put them up in the A or S tier.
I will laud the hell out of the S tier picks. Good job, everyone.
Good
So
job.
good.
Good job. I like putting Anthony up high because it makes it better when he falls. So,
my ego will never fall, friend.
Cole, anything you want to say to the people before we go?
Not really. I mean, you know.
All right, Kevin, anything you want to say to the people before we go? All right, Anthony, anything you want to say to the people before we go?
Generic gay shit.
Very good.